Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 multiplayer. We're going to be continuing the DLC discussion. It's been a while since I've had one of these pay-to-win videos, but we're back with the Warriors of Chaos. Yes, some of you probably thought I was going to forget about the Warriors of Chaos. They are indeed the first DLC faction for Total War Warhammer. They were, of course, the early adopter bonus for Game 1. If you pre-ordered the game or bought it within the first couple weeks of release, then you would get the Warriors of Chaos for free. Now, however, you would have to pay for them separately. And yeah, we'll be talking more about them just kind of in a more general sense, but let's take a look at this battle first. We've got Sarthrael the Everwatcher, the Big Bird, of course, one of my favorite legendary lords, and just an excellent character overall. Backing him up with the Weird Spawn, we've got a Hell Cannon, Feral Manticore up in the air. Got 4 Marauder Horsemen with Javelins, and in the main line we've got some Marauders, 2 units of Chosen, and the Mirror Guard. For my High Elf opponent, he's got a Prince on a Sun Dragon, Mage with Lore of Shadows, 2 units of Dragon Princes, 2 Phoenix Guard, we've got 3 White Lions and a couple of Archers. So yeah, going to be pushing forward right off the bat. Unfortunately, the Hell Cannon not making super good contact with these infantry yet. But, you know, we can at least try and pressure my opponent into coming towards me. You can see he's using his archers to fend off my Marauder Horsemen, which is obviously very good play there. But being that the Prince on the Sun Dragon only has 70 armor, I'm perfectly happy to throw some Javelins at him with the Horsemen. They'll actually do some pretty decent damage there. So, yeah, of course, since he brought Lore of Shadows, doesn't have a way of healing the dragon as well. Good hit right in the center of those White Lions there. We're now going to switch onto these Dragon Princes that are out in the open field. Dragon Princes, of course, very expensive, high-value units, so yeah, if we can catch them out in the open, definitely want to. You can see Big Bird's kind of moving over to this side to pressure, along with the Manticore, just kind of trying to pull my opponent apart a little bit here. We do hit them with an Overcast Plague of Rust, so those Dragon Princes are now down to only 50 armor. The Javelins are going to come in and do a ton of damage. And, yeah, I say a ton of damage. More than they normally would, certainly. That Hell Cannon shot also coming in, getting some good damage in. But, yeah, that Overcast Plague of Rust, just absolutely nasty. And those Dragon Princes already taken about half HP damage. You can see I'm bringing the Weird Spawn over, so they pull away from that, not wanting to get involved with the Weird Spawn. But we're going to get a general melee engagement now. The Sun Dragon comes down, tries to take out this Hell Cannon here, which is understandable. The Manticore is going to follow him up, and then, yeah, Big Bird's making his way over as well. You can see Dragon Princess charging in the distance there. The Weird Spawn had gotten into some White Lions. Phoenix Guard advancing as well. But, yeah, Big Bird getting over here, and the Manticore both doing a ton of damage to this Prince. He does try and buff up his melee defense, but looks like enfeebling foe on the Manticore. Big Bird and the Manticore trying to keep him on the ground, but it looks like he may be able to escape here. Meanwhile, the Weird Spawn switched over and rear charged these Dragon Princes, and they just got absolutely wrecked by Chosen and other units here. So, yeah, the Javelins and more just raining fire in here, and then they're going to collapse on the flank here, these Weird Spawn. The Sun Dragon comes down once again to try and finish off the Hell Cannon crew, but we get an Overcast Plague of Rust here, minus 60 armor on the Prince. We are going to get a pretty nice Penumbral Pendulum down the main line here, but it'll only do so much against those Chosen. And with the lack of leadership here, this Prince is just getting absolutely slapped around by Big Bird and the Weird Spawn here. So yeah, it's really rough stuff. He's actually going to get finished off here by Big Bird. And there it goes. The Dragon falls, the Prince falls, and that is going to be a pretty decisive blow to the High Elves. You can see the balance power has tipped in the favor of the Warriors of Chaos here. Mirror Guard moving in, just stepping up on these Phoenix Guard here. Obviously, the Phoenix Guard would probably win in a prolonged fight, but as it is, it's not going to be great. We're raining some Searing Doom. Again, not the most armor-piercing damage in the world, but it does a little bit of damage. The second unit of Dragon Prince is a little bit late to the party, trying to get in the back to do some rear charging, but again, stopping them up with the Weird Spawn, and Big Bird just absolutely wrecking them here with the Manticore as well. Manticore has taken quite a bit of damage, but it's not enough to make him permanently rout off. You can see the Phoenix Guard are still holding, but they are pretty well surrounded at this point. These Phoenix Guard surrounded on both sides by Chosen and Marauders. The Mirror Guard are getting up and around to rear charge this unit of Phoenix Guard here, so yeah. They're also getting pelted in the back by Javelins. We're going to drop more Searing Doom here as those Dragon Princes are routed off over on the far side. Absolute brutality, and the Warriors of Chaos have long been one of my favorite factions. Certainly, when Total War Warhammer 1 was released, there was no way you could say that the Warriors of Chaos were pay to win. They were absolutely awful. Just, like, worse. They were probably the worst faction when the game came out originally. And it took a long time for the Warriors of Chaos to really get good. It really wasn't until the late patches of Total War Warhammer 1 when they got their Regiments of Renown and they made some other changes that the Warriors of Chaos really became a powerhouse faction. In Total War Warhammer 2, they have been, for the most part, a pretty powerful faction. Generally, they tend to trend towards the top of the meta. They get pretty consistent representation in tournament play. They're just a solid faction overall. And yeah, now they're certainly in a good place. And in terms of the army breakdown here, you can see just nice kills spread evenly all across the army. 52 on the weird spawn especially. Really, really good considering they are going up against a lot of heavy cavalry. For my opponent, the army is just a little bit small. You know, I kind of see what he was going for there, but you definitely want to try and take some healing against the Warriors of Chaos just because they're going to put out a lot of damage against you. But yeah, just talking in a more general sense about Chaos, again, they used to be the worst faction in the game, so definitely weren't pay to win at that point. Now, they certainly are a strong faction, and I would say, of course, if you're a fan of the sort of the Chaos theme, they are an absolute no-brainer to pick up. Their campaign, I have to say, is one of my favorites. I personally really like the Horde-style campaigns, especially in Mortal Empires, because it's such a huge map, and with the Hordes, you can kind of run around all over the place and see different parts of the world a lot easier because you're not tied down to territory. Yeah, so personally, Warriors of Chaos, for me, is one of my favorite campaigns. So just on that alone, I would probably pick it up. But, you know, even in multiplayer, they are a pretty powerful faction. They've got excellent Lord selections. You know, even at being a DLC faction for Game 1, they're the only DLC faction for Game 1 that came with 3 Legendary Lords playable in campaign, 4 playable in multiplayer, of course, with Sarthriel himself. And yeah, you've got access to a lot of great Lords of Magic, super solid infantry, of course, excellent monsters, and you do lack some ranged options. You have a couple of ranged options, but generally a very, very strong faction and able to do a lot of different things. I'm going to be talking briefly about Norska as well. That's why I sort of saved Warriors of Chaos for now, until now, I should say. Because they are sort of similar. They were both pre-order factions. They both are Chaos factions. You know, they both start up in that northern area on the map. So there are certainly some similarities. That being said, just kind of a spoiler alert. Of course, we are going to be talking more about Norska in their own video, but in my opinion, the Warriors of Chaos are a lot better fleshed out, and of course they will be getting even more stuff come Game 3. I'm assuming that the Warriors of Chaos, because they are obviously missing quite a bit from their roster, you know, like the Champions of Khorne on Skull Crushers, or, you know, stuff like that. They certainly are missing some units still, so I'm really, really hoping that they'll get some major updates come Game 3. Of course, we'll have to wait and see, but certainly we're going to be getting another Chaos faction in Demons of Chaos. We'll see. Probably someone will at least make a mod to try and make a combined Chaos faction, but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. That's kind of gone on a bit of a tangent here, but yeah, expect some updates for the Warriors of Chaos in the future. Hopefully we'll even see like more Legendary Lords and stuff. Not 100% sure. With them going through and updating the Game 1 factions, I'm not sure with the Warriors of Chaos where exactly they're going to fall into that, if they're going to do a minor update, you know, somewhere in the next few months, or if we're not going to see an update for the Warriors of Chaos until Game 3. It's tough to say, but as it is right now, I would definitely recommend picking up the Chaos Lads. They are a ton of fun, both in campaign and multiplayer, and a super iconic faction for Total War Warhammer. So Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.